Okay, so I'm gonna do another video on factoring. I know a lot of you guys still had questions after the last video, so I'm gonna show you a different way to factor in case the factor tree was confusing. So let's take a look first at the numbers. So 18 and 12. So I'm gonna write 18 and 12 with a comma in between, and then I'm gonna put it under this little like L shape, that little almost like a box that they're gonna be in. And I'm going to think about what number goes into 18 and 12. Now, the answer is 6, but pretend you just say, well, I know both of them go into 2. I'm going to put a 2 there, and then I'm going to divide both of them. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, and then I look at those two numbers, 9 and 6, and I say, okay, well, can I divide those? I can, and I can divide them by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So here's what we're going to do. Here, in this part right here, this is your GCF, and you multiply them. If there's more than one, you multiply. So 2 times 3 is 6. So my GCF is 6. We're just looking at the numbers right now. Okay, what's left over? Well, I just found out that 18, when I divide it by 6, I get 3, right? This is your answer for 18, and this is your answer for 12. So I'm just going to leave a space right here for the x's, and then I'm going to do 3, leave a space, minus 2, leave a space, and put parentheses. So what did I do? I've divided a 6 out. Now watch this. 6 times 3 is 18, right? 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Okay, now I need to figure out the x's. So I'm going to look at x to the 6th and x to the 3rd. So a trick with taking out x's is you always choose the smallest one. So is x cubed or x to the 6th smaller? X cubed is smaller. So I'm automatically know that I'm going to take out, I'm going to do this in a different color. I'm going to take out an x cubed because that's the smallest one. Now, the reason is because you can take 3 out of 6, right? So what's 6 minus 3? 3. Now, if we have x to the 3rd here and we divide out x to the 3rd here, we don't have anything left. So it's just going to be minus 2. This is your final answer. Now, when we multiply, just like we said, 6 times 3 is 18, right? Well, x to the 3rd times x to the 3rd, when we multiply variables, we add the exponent. So it's x to the 6th, because 3 plus 3 is 6. And then 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. And since there's no x's over here, it's just going to be negative 12x to the 3rd, which is our answer right there. Okay, so that's your final answer. Okay, let's take a look here. Like I said, some of you guys look at 32 and 40 and you know the GCF right away. You know what both of these numbers can go into. I'm just pretending like you don't, so that you have a way to attack this problem without knowing directly what the GCF is. So let's say I didn't, but I know both of them are even, so they can go into 2. So just like before, I'm going to put 32 comma 40, and then I'm going to put that L, and then I'm going to divide out a 2 from both of them. So I'm left with 16 and 20. And I look at both of those numbers and I notice that they can also be divided by 2. So that leaves me with 8 and 10. And then I look at those numbers and realize they can also be divided by 2, which is 4 and 5, right? Now, remember, when we have this answer, we're going to multiply all of these. So it's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So my GCF is 8. Now, if you look at 32 and 40, if you knew that 8 divides into both of those automatically, you don't need to do this whole process. But if you're not sure, that's where you start. So 8 is my answer. I'm going to leave a space for the x, okay? And I'm going to put the parenthesis. I'm going to put the 4 and then the plus 5, and that's it. Where did I get 4 and 5? Right here. So you always put those on the inside of the parentheses. Now, let's take a look at the variables. Remember, like I said, we can take out the smallest variable. So x to the 8th and x to the 4th, which one's smaller? X to the 4th, so I'm going to write x to the 4th here. And then if I have 8 and I take away 4, I have 4 left over, so x to the 4th. Remember, when we multiply x to the 4th times x to the 4th, we add the exponents. Okay? And then we don't have anything left over here because x to the 4th there's an x to the fourth here, and if we subtract 4 from that, we have 0 left, so we don't have to put anything there. So this is your final answer. Like I said, you can multiply to check, so 8 times 4 is 32. Oh my gosh, it keeps making a straight line. And then x to the fourth times x to the fourth, add, so it's x to the eighth, and then 8 times 5 is 40, and then x to the fourth, because we don't have any x's to combine over here, x to the 5. Okay, number 3. So like I said, these are very similar to the ones in your, in the assignment that I gave you. Okay, 48 and 8. So we're going to take a look at the numbers first. So I'm going to write 48, comma 8. If you know what number goes into these, awesome. If not, I'm going to start with 2. So 24 and 4. And then I notice, oh, actually 4 can go into both of those numbers. So 6 and 1. Okay, so again, we multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. So our answer here is 8 for our GCF. So I'm going to put the 8, I'm going to leave a space, put parenthesis. Now I'm going to put the 6 here, plus 1, and then put a parenthesis. Okay, 6 goes here, 1 goes here. This number that's multiplied goes here, every single time. Okay, now which one's smaller, x to the 8th or x to the 6th? X to the 6th is smaller, right? So we're going to take out the x to the 6th. And then we have 2 left over here, and we have none left on this side. And then that's your final answer. So let's check. 8 times 6 is 48. That's good. X to the 6 times x squared. We add the exponents, so 6 plus 2 is 8. So that's your answer there. And then 8x to the 6 times 1 is 8x to the 6. Okay, number 4. 49 and 21. So I know that 7 goes into both of those. So we're left with 7 and 3. When we divide that, 49 divided by 7 is 7, 21 divided by 7 is 3. So I'm going to divide out a 7. And I'm left with a 7 here, plus 3 here, parenthesis. Okay. Now I'm going to look at w to the 12th and w to the 9th. W to the 9th is smaller, so I take out w to the 9th. 12 minus 9 is 3, so I have 3 left here. And then 9 minus 9 is 0, so I'm not going to put anything over on this side. So this is your final answer. Again, let's check. So if we multiply it in, 7 times 7 is 49. 9 plus 3 is 12, so we did that right. And then 7 times 3 is 21, and then w to the 9th goes on the end because there's no extra w's here. Okay. Number, I think I did 6. Yeah, so number 5, we're almost done. Okay, so here we have 3. So we have a 6, a 16, and a negative 2. I'm going to not worry about the negative. I'm just going to put the 6, 16, and 2. Now, this time you have to see what all 3 numbers go into. Start with the smallest number and see if the smallest number divides into all of them. So 2 is the smallest number, and that actually does divide into all of them. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, so this is your GCF. So I'm going to write that right here, 2 parentheses. I'm going to, oh, I need space for the W's. I'm going to put a 3 here. I'm going to put a plus 8 here. And I'm going to put a minus 1 here. Where'd I get the minus 1? This is a negative 2. So I need to make this a minus 1 because when I multiply back, 2 times 3 is 6, right? 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and so I need those pieces. And then we take the smallest exponent. So out of 15, 10, and 8, 8 is the smallest, right? So I'm going to take out w to the 8th. Now if I do 15 minus 8, I have 7 left. So w to the 7th. If I have 10 minus 8, I have 2 left, so w squared. And if I have 8 minus 8, I have none left, so I'm not going to put a w on the end of that minus 1. And that's your final answer. Okay, now we have 3 numbers again, so 32, 32, and 12. Okay, now I know 2 goes into all of them because they're all even. So I'm going to put a 2 here. 32 divided by 2 is 16. 32 divided by 2 is 16. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And then all of those are even still, so I'm going to divide by 2 again. So 8, 16 divided by 2 is 8. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I can't divide all those by the same number. 3 doesn't go into 8 and 8, right? And 4 goes into 8 but not into 3. So we can't divide anything else. So that's our final answer is this. And remember, we multiply when there's more than 1. So our GCF is 4. 2 times 2. Leave a space for the x. I'm going to put an 8 plus 8 plus 3. And then I'm going to check really quick. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 8 is 32. And then 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, and then I'm going to worry about the x's. So now I'm going to take the smallest one again. So the smallest one is x to the 4th. So I'm going to take out x to the 4th. 16 minus 4 is 8. So x to the, no, it's not. 16 minus 4 is 12. Sorry, 11 minus 4. So then that's going to be x to the 7th. And then we don't have anything left over here because 4 minus 4 is 0. So we have nothing left over. So that is your final answer.